Welcome to the Aggressive Realty Show. I'm Ken Temborski, owner, broker of Aggressive Realty. Today we're going to do a couple things a little different. We're going to talk about what's going on in the market today. Then Orlando is going to do his segment, and then we're going to finish up together. One of the biggest points that we're finding out right now is there's a lot of changes coming to the market. One of our problems right now, and you know, I just seen this last night by some analysts that are very important. Right now, normally we would see anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 houses on the market. The market is made up of from Harvey's Lake, Plymouth, Nanticoke, Wilkes-Barre, out to Whitehaven, the edge of the Poconos, Lake Harmony, all the way back to Hazleton to Brandonville, almost out to Columbia County, okay, out towards Bloomsburg. So when you see a market that big, and that's called our MLS, multi-listing service, what happens is there's usually 1,500 to 2,000 houses on the market. Right now, there's about 400 houses on the market, and probably 100 of them been on for a long time. What we're going to see, I believe, is I think you're going to see if the interest rates drop 1%, at least 1%, I think you're going to see an unbelievable bidding war because of the sake of the prices of homes will escalate. I think you're going to see things change out there in the market. I think there's going to be some different stuff happening with NAR that we'll get into at a different show. But relatively, I believe you're going to see this market explode again. I think this market's going to grow again. Very important to get your house on the market as soon as possible, and because I see them price drops coming by the end of the year. If that happens this summer, I think you'll see a very, very active market. But again, the problem with the activity is with no inventory, it's very tough. There's not a lot to sell. So what happens is you have 2 or 3 or 4 buyers for one property. Well, that's going to cause a competitiveness. That's going to cause they're going to compete and bid higher for properties. So it's very important. Think about getting your property ready now. Spring is here. 90% of a home is sold through the front door. Make it look beautiful. Keep a color on the door. I think the new color this year trend is any color on the front door. I've been seeing a lot of black doors. A couple years ago, it was red, was the inviting color. But 90% is sold through the front door. When people come in the front door, that's their big impression. That's the impression they want to see. So again, when it comes to painting or it comes to cleanup, a little fresh mulch, trim them bushes, get the front yard looking nice. That's very important, okay? Colors-wise in painting, don't paint, okay? Unless it's really bad. Because somebody comes in, they might want to paint different colors. You know, paint 2 rooms with primers about $500, okay, for materials. You know, so they might want a color, or they might want white, and you paint it yellow. So think about that when you're doing it. Step up and start doing the outside. The very front of your house is the most important. Get your house ready. Call us. Let us come out and we can give you some pointers. We could say, hey, listen, you know, why don't you look at doing this? Why don't you look at doing that? Maybe we can make it work that it makes it work less costly for you to do, but get the most money out of it for you. You know, right now interest rates are very crazy. The T-bond is, I think, 4.26 right now. And when you see that, that dictates what the interest rates are for residential and commercial. But what you got to do is you got to look at, there's 2 ways to look at this. One is you're looking at roughly 7% right now on the market, okay, to buy a residential home. That means for every $100,000 on a 30-year amortization, that means it's $700 roughly a month for 30 years, and taxes, 1/12, and insurance 1/12. Add it together. If you don't have a big down payment, you also have PMI, private mortgage insurance. It's regulated by the state of Pennsylvania. So you got to add that in. You got to look at all of this right now. It's a lot more costly to buy a home, but rents are going up. Rents are costing just as much as homes. So it's very important to look at that. When you get into commercial, we do a lot of commercial. Commercial is running about 8.5 to 9, which is, very, high. Okay? So what we need to happen is, I don't care what these people are saying, the economy's great. The economy's not that great. Our homes are very expensive to buy. You need a 640 credit score to buy a home. Okay, your credit score is made up of two things now: debt service and FICO score. That's your score. Now, don't forget, when you buy a home, they take into consideration what your debt service is. That means your credit card, your car payment, your new house, your new bills, maybe your old house. You got to have a 640 credit score minimum. And you got to have, when you have the debt service, it's usually about 47%. Okay, if you go over 47% of debt, you can't buy a home. Okay, so it's very important. You can also ask your parents, any blood, uncle, aunt, cousins, if you need to borrow some money as a gift. Ask them, and it wouldn't be a borrow, it'd be a gift. They'd have to sign a letter saying you don't have to repay it. But that's a way for somebody to help you with the closing costs. Closing costs on a house runs, I tell everybody, between 5 and 6%. If you run a house at 5, because what happens with that is you have title insurance, mandatory. You have your bank costs. You also have what's called your taxes. You have to escrow your taxes for next year and the balance of this year. You also got to do your insurance next year for this year. Okay? So when you put all that money aside and you add all that up, you see where it comes to. Again, it's so important right now to call us. Call one of our agents. We have 22 agents now, I'm sorry. We have 22 agents that are there to serve you. Call 570-788-8500. Anybody that answers could help you. My name is Ken Temborski. You're more than welcome to ask for me. Leave a message, even if you're not buying right now. If you just have a question, call me, okay? I will call you back. And when we come back, Orlando Pena, one of the top agents in the area, will be next. Thank you.
Saludos, le habla Orlando Peña, yo soy un agente real estate de la oficina de Aggressive Realty. Estamos localizados en Conigan y servimos en el área de Lexington, Wilberry, McAdoo, Freeland y toda el área de Lucerne County y Schuylkill County. Bueno, hoy le vamos a hablar cuáles son los requisitos y el proceso para usted comprar una propiedad. Muchas personas me preguntan, Orlando, ¿qué debo de cumplir para yo comprar una propiedad, para yo aplicar para una propiedad? Mire, los requisitos para usted aplicar para una casa son los siguientes. Usted necesita 2 años de trabajo continuo. No tiene que ser en la misma compañía, pero al momento de aplicar tiene que estar fijo por la compañía. Tiene que tener un crédito mínimo, no mínimo más de 580. Mientras el crédito es más alto, más la historial de crédito es mejor. Tiene que tener dinero para el down payment, dinero ahorrado. Si no tiene el dinero ahorrado para el down payment, un familiar o un amigo le puede dar un regalo. Y eso es válido cuando usted va a comprar una propiedad. Esos son los requisitos para usted comprar una propiedad. 2 años de historia de trabajo, crédito mínimo no mínimo de 580 y estar trabajando actualmente por la compañía. Y obviamente dinero ahorrado para el down payment. Entonces ahora le vamos a hablar cuáles son los documentos que nosotros vamos a solicitarle a la hora de llevarlo al banco, de hacerle lo que es una preaprobación. Los documentos que el banco le va a exigir son los siguientes. Vamos a necesitar los últimos 2 años de los W2 e Income Tax. Vamos a requerirle las últimas 5 colillas de cheque o los últimos 5 pay stub, que es lo mismo en inglés. Vamos a requerirle los últimos 3 meses o 90 días de los bank statements. El banco quiere ver cuál fue la procedencia de los fondos donde usted va a dar el dinero. Y también vamos a solicitar lo que es el social y la documentación, el ID. Si es residente, la residencia; si es ciudadano, solamente el ID. Entonces, cuando tengamos esos documentos ya listos, se lo vamos a presentar al banco. El banco va a someter la aplicación para ver qué cantidad usted califica. Y ustedes me preguntan, ¿y cómo determinamos que el banco me dé la cantidad para yo calificar? El banco tiene una fórmula que se llama deuda versus ingresos. Entonces, no se puede pasar más de un 45%. Entonces, nosotros le vamos a recomendar a ustedes que si usted antes de empezar el proceso tiene algunas tarjetas de crédito que le deben o algo, es bueno que comiencen a saldarla, porque al momento de hacer la preaprobación, si tienen menos deuda, el banco le puede aprobar mayor cantidad de dinero. Entonces, la siguiente pregunta sería, Orlando, ya ahora mismo el banco me aprobó, por ejemplo, para $250,000. ¿Qué procedemos? ¿Cuál es el siguiente paso? El siguiente paso es el siguiente. Entonces ahora entramos nosotros. Entonces ahora vamos a hacer lo que es a buscar la casa, a mostrar la casa basado en las condiciones que ustedes quieren. Ustedes quieren 4 habitaciones, 2 baños, un garaje. Entonces a partir de ahí me llaman a mí. Entonces ahora comenzamos a ver todas las casas y uno le puede recomendar cuál casa, basado en las condiciones y en la experiencia, podría convenirle más. Entonces, ya que usted encuentra la casa, entonces le hacemos lo que se llama una oferta por escrito. Se le mandamos un contrato con la preaprobación a la persona que la está vendiendo, al real estate que la está vendiendo. Entonces, si aceptan nuestra oferta, entonces ahí ya comienza el banco a hacer la aplicación formal de lo que es el préstamo. Lo que es la aplicación formal, ya ahí le van a pedir ya todos los documentos. El banco va a hacer toda la verificación. El banco va a mandar también lo que se llama un appraisal, un tasador, para verificar y confirmar que el valor que usted está comprando la casa es igual o máximo. Y también en ese mismo procedimiento hacemos lo que se llaman las inspecciones para verificar si la casa está en buenas condiciones. En el mismo proceso, el banco va haciendo la aplicación, le van pidiendo condiciones, y también una parte del proceso es que nosotros se lo mandamos a una compañía de título para garantizarle que el título está limpio y no tiene ninguna deuda. Después que el título está limpio, sin ningún tipo de deuda, entonces ahí nosotros ya y viene lo que es el valor de la casa, entonces ya viene lo que es el proceso final para entonces luego hacer el cierre. Luego, después del cierre, ya la casa de ustedes. Entonces, básicamente, en resumen, lo que usted necesita para comprar una casa es 2 años de trabajo continuo, tener dinero ahorrado para el down payment, un crédito no mínimo de 580. Si el crédito es mayor, les recomendamos que sea mayor, vayan pagando sus deudas, y así al momento de hacer la aplicación, el banco tiene más posibilidades de incrementarle o darle una cantidad mayor para hacer la preaprobación. Luego, con esos requisitos, automáticamente que está preaprobado, ahí mismo lo mandamos al banco, buscamos la casa, y ese es el procedimiento para ustedes comprar una casa. Yo les recomiendo que a partir de ahora, si ustedes están interesados en comprar una casa, me pueden llamar. La asesoría es gratis. Estamos ubicados aquí en Hessington. Me pueden buscar en las redes sociales, en Instagram, en Facebook como Orlando Peña. Y mi teléfono es el 570-497-1009. Estamos a la orden. Cualquier cosa, estamos aquí.
Welcome back to the Aggressive Realty Show. I'm Ken Temborski, broker of Aggressive Realty. Orlando Pena, one of the top salesmen in the area. We're here today to talk about what's going on in the market, what's important, how to list, and so forth. One of the things, Orlando, that I like to do is I love listing. I love the estates. I love to go out there, and our capability as a company is a lot of times an estate is very hard on people, very, very tough. What we do is we clean out. We have a clean out service that will come in and clean out after people go through their home and see what's important, what's not important, what's valuable, what's not valuable, and they take some time to grieve. After they get done grieving, we can come in and we can, with dumpsters, we can come in and clean out the garage, clean out the house, clean out the basement. The attic has 40 years or 50 years of stuff in it. We can do all of that. Then we get into the proper listing procedure. We have to make it that most municipalities have occupancies. We have to have them. You have to have a smoke detector and a carbon monoxide detector on each floor. You got to have a fire smoke alarm in every bedroom. It's very important that we do these things, including GFIs 6 feet from all water sources. We also have the capability, we do that too. So what happens is if you have an estate, call us. We can take a look at it with you. We'll come up, take a look at it. We give you a value on the house, tell you what it's worth, get it listed, and we do the clean out. We do the clean out. We'll do the clean out totally. We'll get the house ready for the occupancy permit. We'll get the occupancy permit done. We'll get to the closing. And however the estate is set up, we deal with the attorney that we deal with. The attorney that has the estate, we stay 100% committed to him. And that's one of the things, services that Aggressive offers. Orlando, what do you think? What are you offering?
So we are offering a full listing from the beginning until the end. We have a lot of stay. We have a lot of sellers like that live out of Pennsylvania. So we can just we take a look at the property. We do what is CMA, comparable market analysis. We give like what is the best price to list the property.
How about commercial?
Yeah, we also offer commercial. Commercial, we are very strong on commercial. We have, like last year, we sold, how many commercials do we solve?
Probably 15.
15, yes. So we are very strong on commercial.
And what we do there is, again, every commercial is different. A going business, a non-going business, a commercial location. You know, also a commercial location requires 20% down. So a lot of times what we do is we ask people to sign a confidentiality agreement, meaning anybody looking at the property, actually next step after looking at the property, they want to see the books. Well, they have to sign a confidentiality agreement that's made up by an attorney. Once they sign that, we'll take a look and we'll actually go, and in the meantime, we have an accountant that will check and give us an idea what that property, what them books are worth. Okay, a lot of times I've sold businesses, not real estate, not the brick and mortar. We sold a lot of even bars. We've sold auto
repairs.
Auto repairs.
Yes.
We've sold electrical companies. We've sold a lot of different things. So everyone is different. So it's very important to get a hold of us early to talk to us. And then we'll talk to you on your individual deal.
Absolutely.
Right?
So yes, we met with the seller. You know, we offer what we recommend, what stuff to do before we list it in order to get the best price as possible.
And the prices are up right now. Yep. I've seen some of the numbers that you've gotten out of there. Yeah. Some of the numbers that I've done. It's amazing. But like I said, we start from the beginning. It's a full package. It's not just you do this, we do this. You do this, we do this. We like to have it from the beginning to the end. And this way we can keep that control and keep that momentum going.
Absolutely. I'm just going to put you an example. You were listing auto repair up in Diamond Avenue, and immediately we find a buyer, and this closing we closed in how many days? Like 20 days?
20 days.
20
and
days.
We bought another property from that buyer that was worth 2 times more than what that property was worth, and we had to close them back to back.
Back to back closing, absolutely.
So there was no loss. So in other words, the money that came from one went to the other. Again, we can do almost anything. There's nothing that we can't do. And if we can't do it, it's not legal, or if it's not allowed, we can't do it. We'll tell you what we can do and can't do, and we know a lot of the ways to get it done.
Yeah, if you're thinking to sell your commercial or residential property, just give us a call. We're gonna go there. We're gonna go and review the property. We're gonna meet you. We're gonna talk. So we're gonna give you the best advice in your interest.
And when you go out there, again, we want to list your property. We want your property, whether it's land, business, commercial, or residential. Again, there's a big difference right now going on in the market, how to make the market work, how to get the best interest rate, how to do a lot of different things. Sometimes there's even installment sale. Sometimes we can make it work for somebody that for tax reasons you do an installment sale. Because again, we look at the capital gains issue. We look at the depreciation schedule. There's a lot more involved to selling a house or a business than what the average person thinks.
Yeah, and we also, one of the big points that we work with the city codes.
Oh.
Before we list a house, we recommend what I have to do before to take this property in the market.
And we'll do it.
Yeah, and we'll do it.
If they want us to do it. I just did one up on Mead Court. Same thing. We went in, we cleaned it out. We went and had a company come in and clean it.
Absolutely.
And then we did the occupancy rules, and we had the permit done. And it's important to do it right. Because you know what? There's some great people. You have Diane, who is in charge of the code, Panzarella. What a great lady. You know what? She's straight and to the point. Do your job, do it right, and I'll be okay with it. But if you try to shortcut and try to get around her, it ain't going to be good for you.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. I just going to put an example. Last week, you leased a property on PC Street. It was a mistake. So I find a buyer for your listing. And today, I went to the city hall to do the application. So in that way, the inspector go there and do the inspections, and they can provide the city occupancy, and we're going to be ready for closing. And that way, your seller and my buyer are in compliance with the city codes.
And one of the biggest things, we have some fun. Always when the contracts come in, we look at them contracts, and I always try to say, permits on the buyer. Or I flip it around. I try to get Orlando all the time if he sells one of my properties, and he tries to get me all the time. Because you know what? We try to do it right. Yes. We try to make it that it is perfect for you. Less headaches, less worrying about anything. And we can give you names and references of people that we've done this for.
And one of the good things is that we have a team inside of Aggressive Realty that can do like what is called pre-inspections, and he's gonna find out if it's needed a smoke detector or GFI or a handrail. So we can have our guy inside Aggressive Realty who can prepare before the city inspector or the appraiser can do the inspections.
One of the biggest things that we're saying right now is because the way the market is, the inventory is low, and we can get you a very good price for your home. You want to list with Aggressive Realty. 570-788-8500. Aggressive Realty is the company that will be there for you from the start to the end. And if you have any questions, you can call and leave Orlando a message or myself a message. Sometimes it might take a day for us to get back to you, but we will. It's very important that you know more going into it than just waiting for that day to happen.
Give us a call. If you want to list your property, we're here to help you. We're going to give you our advice. We're going to give you whatever is necessary to sell your house.
I'm Ken Temborski, Aggressive Realty, broker.
Orlando Pena, an agent.
We look forward to dealing with you. Give us a holler.